Here's July 3rd's garden on a rainy morning. I need to remember to weed the onions earlier and more frequently because they're once again overrun with weeds. So more mulch next year. At the end of this onion bed, I have the last bit of some Carson yellow green beans, and then I just planted more green beans at the end of that row. I've got green beans stuck in wherever there's space in the garden because we love them so much. I want to get a lot in the freezer. So there's green beans on their way to flowering here, and then cabbage. And then at the end, I planted some squash seeds yesterday. This is my row of dried beans. I've got cranberry at the front, and then at the back are black beans. This row I planted with 3 different types of green beans a couple days ago, and they're just about ready to pop through. My 2 rows of potatoes are starting to die back already, so I'm hoping we have at least some potatoes under there. It was so dry and so hot so early. I'm thinking they just went through their season a little faster, hopefully. My cucumbers are starting to reach the trellis, but my watermelon and cantaloupe seeds never did germinate because I think it was just too dry. My pepper and eggplant row are doing pretty well. I'm harvesting jalapeno and red chili peppers and some Japanese eggplant, but my black beauty eggplant and bell peppers are still a little bit behind. My tomatoes are doing well. They're half as tall as they were last year because of our drought, but they're fruiting a lot earlier. We've already been harvesting. I guess we had our first tomato around June 15th this year. The red chili plant, I'll show you, has a ton of little chilies. Waiting to turn red so I can make hot sauce for John. Let's turn around and go back up. Tomatoes. My Roma tomatoes always seem to end up with black blossom end rot. I don't know if that's a problem just with Romas, but every time a Roma gets ready to ripen, it's always rotten at the blossom end. But I did get a couple of tomatoes today. Got some German Johnsons, a Rutgers, a Lemon Boy, and some Juliet, and then some Riesentrop in there. A couple last green beans before I pulled up more tomatoes. And then our poor winter squash rows have been attacked by squash bugs, so we don't have a lot remaining. My acorn squash seems to be unscathed, so we should have decent acorn squash harvest. But my pumpkins and winter squash are not doing so well. I only have 1 plant for every probably 8 spots that I planted. And I need to weed this end. You can hardly see my strawberry row for all the weeds. So that's this summer's garden so far.